Part 1, what we consume and what consumes us. You are what you eat. You've probably heard that before, but maybe no one ever told you this. You also sleep how you eat. Or more accurately, you sleep how you digest. And not just digestion in your stomach, digestion in your whole system. What you take in, how you take it in, and when you take it in, all of it shapes the way your body rests. Or doesn't. Most people think sleep is all about the evening routine, the lights, the phone, the breathing. And yes, those matter. But what you eat and drink hours before your head hits the pillow may be one of the most powerful, yet overlooked forces shaping your night. Let's start with the obvious one, caffeine. We know it keeps you awake, but do you know why? Caffeine doesn't give you energy. It blocks a chemical in your brain called adenosine, which builds up throughout the day and tells your body it's tired. Caffeine hijacks that signal. It tricks you into feeling alert. But adenosine doesn't disappear. It waits. And when the caffeine wears off, bam, you crash. Or worse, you try to sleep, but your system is still holding onto that block. That's why some people drink coffee at noon and can't fall asleep at midnight. Caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 7 hours. That means even if you stop drinking it at 3 p.m., half of it might still be in your system at 9. And if you're sensitive, even morning coffee might be enough to push your sleep just slightly off, night after night, until one day you wonder why you're exhausted and wired at the same time. But caffeine's not the only culprit. Sugar plays its part too, especially late at night. That after-dinner dessert, that midnight snack, it spikes your blood sugar. Your body releases insulin. Then your blood sugar drops, and that crash can trigger a stress response. Heart racing, sweating, wakefulness at 2 a.m. You may not even remember eating anything unusual, but your body does, and it's doing what it's supposed to do, trying to stabilize. But the cost? Your sleep. And what about alcohol? That glass of wine to unwind? That nightcap to take the edge off? It might make you feel sleepy at first, but alcohol disrupts REM sleep, the deepest, most restorative part of the sleep cycle. It fragments your rest. You might fall asleep faster, but you wake up groggier, or you toss and turn. Or you wake at 3 a.m. with a dry mouth and an overactive heart. It's not just the alcohol, it's what it does to your nervous system. It sedates, not soothes. And sedation isn't sleep, not the kind your brain needs to repair and restore. Then there's the timing. Not just what you eat, but when. Eating a heavy meal right before bed, your body has to digest while you're trying to sleep. Blood is diverted to your gut. Your core temperature rises. Your metabolism works overtime. And your sleep, especially deep sleep, suffers. You might not feel it right away, but over time, it adds up. That feeling of waking up tired even after enough hours, that might be your body saying, I was working all night. And yet, this isn't about guilt or restriction or fear of food. This is about awareness, about tuning in, about asking, is what I'm consuming helping me rest, or asking my body to keep working when it needs to stop? Because every bite you take is information. Every drink you sip is a signal. Your body listens. It doesn't judge. It just responds. Part 2. Eating to sleep, not to survive. So what can we do? If food and drink affect our sleep, how do we shift not to restrict but to realign? How do we nourish ourselves in a way that doesn't just fuel us for the day, but also allows us to rest when the day is done? Let's start with timing. One of the most powerful things you can do for sleep is to finish your last meal 2 to 3 hours before bed. This gives your body time to digest, to process, to wind down. You don't have to be perfect. You have to count the minutes, but just notice how you feel when you give yourself that space. When you don't lie down with a full stomach, your body isn't pulled between sleeping and digesting. It can choose sleep fully. If you're hungry before bed, that's okay too. A small sleep-supportive snack can actually help. Think protein with a bit of healthy fat or complex carbs, a slice of turkey, a handful of almonds, a banana with a little peanut butter. These foods contain amino acids like tryptophan, which your body uses to make melatonin and serotonin, chemicals that support sleep and mood. Not heavy meals, just something light, something easy, something that doesn't wake your digestive system, but gently calms your nervous one. What about drinks? We already talked about caffeine and alcohol, but what about what you can drink? There's a whole world of soothing beverages that support sleep. Chamomile tea, warm milk with a dash of cinnamon, herbal blends with lemon balm, passion flower, or valerian root. These aren't magic potions, they're signals, rituals. You sip them slowly, with the lights low, and your body starts to associate that warmth with winding down. The act of drinking becomes a lullaby, not because of what's in the cup, but because of what it tells your brain. The day is over, it's time to rest. And then there's hydration. So many of us are slightly dehydrated by the end of the day. That dryness can lead to restless legs, cramps, even middle-of-the-night thirst that pulls us out of sleep. But drinking too much water right before bed? That leads to bathroom trips that break your sleep cycle. The key is balance. Hydrate throughout the day. Sip water consistently. That way you don't need to chug it all at night, and your body can rest without interruption. Also, pay attention to stimulants hiding in plain sight. Chocolate, certain protein bars, even some pain relievers and supplements contain caffeine or sugar. If you're sensitive, even a little might be enough to tilt your system out of sync. You don't need to obsess, just notice. Tune in. See how you feel when you skip that square of dark chocolate after dinner, or when you switch to herbal tea instead of soda. Let your body show you what works, and maybe most importantly, approach food with kindness, not control, not fear. Let meals become an act of care, not correction. Eat mindfully. Sit down, slow down, chew, taste. Feel the warmth of the food, the texture, the nourishment. This alone can help shift your nervous system into rest and digest. And that shift, it carries you into sleep. Because eating isn't just about fuel, it's about how you treat yourself. How you wind down, how you prepare, not just for the next task, but for the deep, sacred rest of night. Part 3. Nourishment as a love language. Let's go deeper now. Beyond the science, beyond the routines. Let's talk about what food really is. Nourishment, not just for the body, but for the soul. And when it comes to sleep, that matters more than you think. Because your body doesn't just rest when it's tired. It rests when it feels safe. And nothing says you're safe now quite like being well-fed, well-hydrated, and cared for from the inside out. Think about how we feed children when it's bedtime. Warm milk, gentle spoonfuls, slow, loving hands. It's not just about filling their stomachs, it's about soothing their whole being. Somewhere along the line we forgot to do that for ourselves. We started rushing through meals, eating out of bags, sipping coffee on the go, skipping breakfast, binging dinner, forgetting lunch. Our meals became transactions, not rituals, and our sleep suffered for it. But you can change that. You can rebuild trust with your body. You can turn every meal into a message. I see you, I'm here, you deserve to be cared for. That message doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be consistent. Eat earlier, drink slowly, Choose foods that love you back, not to control, but to comfort, to remind your body you are not in a state of emergency anymore. And this changes everything. When food becomes a friend, not a battleground, your body relaxes, digestion improves, blood sugar stabilizes, inflammation goes down, and sleep becomes a natural next step, not something you fight for, but something that follows. This doesn't mean you can never have dessert, or wine, or pizza. It means you have them consciously. You notice how they make you feel. You notice when your body says yes and when it says not tonight. You learn to listen again. You learn to care. And suddenly your evenings feel different. You're not chasing sleep. You're preparing for it. Not through pills or hacks, but through care, through rhythm, through love, a light meal, a warm drink, a moment of quiet, a thank you whispered to the body that carried you all day. Because sleep is not the enemy of productivity, it is the foundation of it. And food is not the reward for a busy life, it is what makes that life sustainable. So tonight, before you reach for another snack, or pour another drink, or rush through dinner, pause. Ask yourself, not, will this help me sleep, but will this help me feel safe? If the answer is yes, enjoy it, slowly. If the answer is no, choose again, kindly. This is how we heal, not through punishment, but through presence, through listening, through love. Let food become part of your bedtime story. Let it be the first act in the ritual of rest. And over time, your body will respond. It will soften, it will remember, and sleep will follow. You've been listening to Sleepless, a podcast by the Daily Health Shift. If this episode helped you reconnect with the way you feed and care for your body, we invite you to follow the show. Share it with someone who's forgotten that eating is also an act of love, and remind them, every bite is a whisper. You're safe now. And safety is the first ingredient of sleep.